So I just tried to go live on Instagram for the first time, trying to work this stuff on now, trying to get my practice and stuff, you know what I'm saying? And it's a hot mess. It wouldn't let me go live. I don't know what's going on. But I'm gonna get this message out anyway. What's up, y'all? This your girl Brittany from She Abundantly at sheabundantly.com. I only got a few minutes because I gotta go to work. But if you see the title, then you already know what's up. It says, you are not created to lift up a man's little emoji. You know what that means? It means penis. Listen, you are not created to lift up a man's penis. I always like to introduce myself because people don't know me like that. God do, but you know, people don't know me like that. But I got a message just to share it, and hopefully the right people will know me. I host a blog called She Abundantly, and the premise or the foundation of that, it stems from John 10:10. The enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy, but God came to give you life and give it to you more abundantly. She Abundantly comes from a desire that I have for all young women to live at the level or the capacity that God has created them to live and to be fulfilled in every area of their lives. And, you know, one of the ways to do that, or shall I say the foundation of doing that, of course, outside of accepting Jesus as Lord and Savior, is learning about sex. Living a life of sexual integrity. Because here's the thing. There's a scripture in 1 Corinthians chapter 6, starting at verse 15 through 20. It really talks about how when you have sex, you sin against your entire body. Sex involves body. It involves spirit, your connection to the spiritual realm. And then it involves everything that makes you animated. Your mind, your desires, your will, how you think, how you feel, everything, okay? Sex has never been just a physical act, but it is a human act. It involves all of you, okay? Heart, everything. And when you sin, meaning when you sin sexually, it affects body, soul, and spirit. So it breaks all of that down. So if you're broken down in all those areas, body, your mind, your heart, will, emotions, your spirit, your connection to God, how can you live at the abundant life that God has created you to live? How can you hold God's blessings if that sin is breaking every bit of you down in that way? And the answer is you can't. You cannot be fulfilled. You cannot live abundantly, you know? And so the reason why I even went that route, why I started this movement, is because sex has been my main, it's been the destroyer, shall I say, of my life. Not destroying me now, but it has been my main struggle. And God had to renew my mind, show me what's up, like teach me some things to help me overcome my sexual addictions, to help me live a life that is full of sexual integrity, shall I say. Living a life that honors God with my body and everything, from physical to mind to heart to fantasies to all of that. And that's my movement. That's my desire for every young woman. Because here's another thing. At a very young age, I got hooked on pornography. And that was the enemy's plan for my life. Okay, the enemy has a plan for every human being, but I'm talking to you, specifically young queens that's watching right now. He has a plan for you. And if God has called you into an assignment to make him known, to bring him glory, to live such a purposeful life, the enemy is going to do the very opposite. And so, as you can see, I'm called to speak. I'm a girl champion. I'm called to, you know, to mentor young women and, you know, teach about love, sex, relationships, God, all that good stuff. And so I'm living this out now, but the devil, he had the opposite plan for me. And a part of that plan was to cause me to never know God, cause me to prostitute my body, to be a whore, to be having sex with dudes for the rest of my life, never getting a real love, real intimacy, never getting a connection with God, you know, just having a broken home, broken everything. Okay. And so that was his plan for me. So he got me hooked on pornography at such a very young age. And as I explained what the title is, my mind was stuck on men. I thought I was created to lift up a man's penis. I thought I was created to please a man. That's it. To the point where I was hooked on pornography, and what pornography taught me was that my body is just for a man's pleasure. You know how when girls grow up and everybody say, what you want to be when you grow up? What you want to do? You know, you hear people say, or girls say, I want to be a doctor. I want to be, you know, this and that. I want to be, look, now you can be the president. I want to be all of this. Of course, I had aspirations and dreams. I wanted to be a veterinarian. But secretly inside, I had another aspiration that didn't, nobody knew. But I knew. And pornography taught me this. I wanted to be the best male pleaser. Fill in the blank. I wanted to be, listen, to make a dude do what he do on them videos. I wanted to do all that. Yeah. And that was my goal. That was my desires. I thought I was just created to be the best male pleaser. I thought I was just created to make a man feel good. But when God got a hold of my mind, when he got a hold of my thoughts, he's been pruning and training me and teaching me up. He showed me I'm created to be so much more than that. And so I'm sharing this with you to tell you, young woman, you are created to be so much more than some dude's fantasy, some dude's fulfillment, some dude's excitement for 5 minutes, and then some dude's pain for 18 years. Listen, you are created for so much more than that. You are not created to lift up a man's penis, but you are created to lift up a holy God. You are created to make God known. Okay, listen, I'm a brown sugar queen, and I love the scriptures. If you don't read the Bible, get up on this. This is your entire life. You are created to be a student of the Bible too. But listen, in the beginning, when God created humans, he gave power and authority to man and woman. He said, listen, be fruitful, multiply, fill the earth, subdue it. I mean, cause the earth to look like heaven. Cause the earth to submit to God's rulership, God's leadership, because that is the most beautiful purpose that you can ever have. To have something that is created function in that creation, function properly, how it's supposed to be functioning. You feel me? You know, a bike is supposed to run, a car is supposed to drive. You are created to help that car drive. You know, you get my drift. You are created to cause people to walk into their divine purpose so they can live how they were created to live. Okay. Yes. So that means you have a voice. That means you have such value, so much to add to this world. Okay. And what the enemy does, this is something that I've learned in my own mentorship, people mentoring me, my own mentor. What the enemy does is he'll put things in your life bit by bit, year after year, to throw you off course, to throw you off that purpose. So for example, for me, if I'm called to live a life of sexual integrity and teach and train and lift other young women up to that status so they can be a right relationship, an intimate relationship with God, his plan was to throw me off. His plan was to get me hooked on sex, to be a slave to sexual sin, to be a slave to a man, to be a slave to my body and to my feelings and desires. And that's what he did for the majority, a lot of my life. Like, the transformation didn't really start till I was about 22 years old. I'm 30 now. So for the last 8 to 10 years, me and God been on this mission, on this journey, reprogramming my mind. He's been teaching me my value and my worth, to the point to where now I'm able to share, spill it out so I can share with other young women, which I do on a daily. The enemy, what he does is he grooms people. He was grooming me, and guess what? He's been grooming you. If you haven't noticed, young girls, teen girls, they look more and more like grown women. When I was 15, I didn't, listen, the makeup and all the clothes we wear now, I wasn't doing that. The youth now don't look nearly as what we looked like when we were young. And this is strategy on the enemy's part, because he's grooming us to stay low, to stay at the bottom, to never obtain true love, true fulfillment, to never be in an intimate relationship with God. So he's grooming women to be hoes, to be whores. He's grooming women to be side chicks. He's grooming women to never be in a committed relationship. So what he does is he's making sure we put on all the decorations to attract his wild wolves, his wild animals, men who don't know authority, who have never submitted to authority, who don't know God's voice. So when you don't submit yourself to order or authority, you are what we call, and what I'm learning, a wild animal. You don't submit to order. You just go off of instinct. You just chase. You just hunt. If it feel good, look good. Ooh, she look good. She got a big booty and stuff like that. Let me go get her. That's my prey. Let me devour her. Let me destroy her life. And at the same time, the enemy is destroying his life. And on to the next. The enemy is training young women to be just that, to be just a predator's prey. Okay. To never live, to never rise to the level, to the standard, to the heights of intimacy with God. He's training, he's molding, he's grooming women, young girls by the thousands, by the millions. And I was one of those until I made a decision to get out. You are created for so much more, queen, than to lift up a man's penis, okay? You are more than big booty, big breasts. You are more than makeup, nails, like all these outer exterior things, which I'm not demonizing. But when we're using it to get a man, when we're using it to make ourselves look so good so a man can see us and want us and to have sex with us, that's idol worship, and that's not good. So I want to challenge you. Why are you doing all this? And are you doing this to be seen? So the next man can see you and say, ooh, I want that. But here's the thing. He don't want it to keep it. He wanted to play with it. He wanted to devour for the moment so he can keep going to the next. You see how that goes? The enemy is playing us. He's grooming us so that we can be at the bottom. Or how about this? Get to the top of the bottom. Because a lot of us think, oh, I'm this, I'm that. I got the man, I got this. But you're just getting to the top of the bottom. He still has you under this idea that you were created just to be with a man, that you were created to look as fine as wine and to get and keep a man. Like, this is why women, you see a lot of women would never become wives. We stay side chicks and, you know, we birth these beautiful babies, but that's about it. Because we are in this system. we have submitted to this idea that that's all we're created to do and be. Is to be a man's pleasure. It's a system of belief. You know? Yeah. I just wanted to share that because, listen, I could keep talking, going on and on. I got this conversation. If you click on my link in my bio, it's a conversation that I had with a young brown sugar queen. And it's called How to Say No with Confidence. And I had this with her. And in it, I share why it's so necessary to say no. Because a little bit of what I'm saying now, the enemy got a plan for you. And if you're not aware of it, if you're not combating it, if you're not, like I said, aware of it, you'll just follow the plan. And that's where you'll stay your entire life. Never rise into that level of authority that God has called you to. Never being able to lift up his name or make him known. You'll always stay at the bottom, lifting up a man's penis. And let me tell you, that is the lowest level that any woman can live at. To lift up a man's flesh is the lowest level you can live at. The spiritual realm is the highest level you can live at. So when you're living in your flesh, that's the lowest. But when you're living by your spirit, that's where you have direct access to God. That's the highest. So I want to call women up to get out of that fleshly realm because you're living a low life. Literally, to lift up a man's penis, that's living a low life. And it's so much more to you. It's so much more to your body. It's so much more to your mind. It's so much more to the words that come out of your mouth than that. Your body was not created to be some dude's play toy. Your body was not created for that. Your life is not created to just be booed up and laid up with a dude. You got a purpose, okay? In this earth, before you die, you got a purpose, and God is trying to call it out. And he's probably, right now, he's using my voice to do that, to call it out. So, go ahead and check it out. Click that link, get access to that video, and check it out because I'm actually sharing. Like I said, I've been mentored, and I'm sharing in my mentoring how girls become side chicks and how they stay side chicks. Okay, because the majority of women, let me just say this: the majority of women who's watching right now is a side chick and don't even know it. But I'm in a relationship, but I'm married. You just know you can still be a side chick and be married. It's just a matter of time. Because here's the thing, you could be married and still not be the only one. He just made you the main chick. Listen. So go ahead and check out that conversation. Get another young brown sugar queen, another young queen in on this conversation because it is so necessary for us as women to hear it. In my link below, in my link in my bio, I'm sorry. How to say no with confidence. That's all I got. That's all I'm gonna say for now. Y'all stay encouraged. Check me out at She Abundantly. I'm on Instagram, of course, Facebook, YouTube. What I really want every young queen to do is go to my YouTube channel and subscribe. I have so many videos on there that is going to help you come out of that low level of living to that spiritual level, to that high level, and to walk out into your purpose. Okay. She Abundantly, YouTube, subscribe and hit the notifications bells because I'm always releasing some good stuff, especially good talk like this, because we got to get our lives together. Okay. We got things to do. We got a God to make bigger and glorify. That's it. That's all. Y'all have a good day. And until next time, peace.